The Igbos are not going to look back because we have tried so many times, often and on, to be part of the system that rejected the Igbos. Igbos have struggled over the years to be part of the system that rejected them. But the Igbo, till today, has become a big major nation that the world is waiting to see come to reality. Because the Biafra is going to define a lot of things about Africa. And that is what Sowore is talking about. We are going back to our roots and to look inwards and come up with something better that will change the understanding of the Black Africa, and of course the Biafrans, and of course to an extent globally. We are not colonizing anybody. We are not fighting anybody. We are not at war with anybody, be in terms of religion, whatever it is. We are not. What we are asking for is, we need an atmosphere to go and have and commune with the man that created heaven and earth. One of the powerful tribes in Africa that introduced, freedom, independence of African nations. Go and check the history. It was Igbos that did it. So we are not minors to in the eyes of the British, whatever you call them, and that put the situation on like this, the way it is today. So what Sowore is trying to tell you that this thing has come of age, it has come of time, it has eaten up a time where it has to become a reality. And the people are continuously, buying into it as a result of sentiment, as a result of wickedness, as a result of injustice, as a result of denial. The same people are using the resources that is being generated from the southern part of the country to empower jihadists everywhere. Look at how jihadists are springing up all over the northern part of the country. Everywhere.
As Igbo live in Nigeria.
They created it. They created it everywhere. Everything that's happening in Nigeria today was created by enemies of Nigeria who disguise as leaders, as politicians, as whatever you can call them. Even as colonial masters, they are the enemies of Nigeria. Whatever the position the Igbo man has taken today, was as a result of, a transferred aggression, a transferred anger, bequeathed, benefited, or how would I take it, bestowed, you understand, adopted, how will I, betrothed to the Northerners by the British government. The Igbos are not going to look back because we have tried so many times, often and on, to be part of the system that rejected the Igbos. Igbos have struggled over the years to be part of the system that rejected them. But unfortunately, after all said and done, after all putting all manner of effort in terms of trying to build where they are not supposed to build, trying to create development where there is no development, trying to transform where there is no transformation, trying to delegate where there is no delegate, trying to be political where there is no politics. Still, the Igbo man is still being tied to the secret memo that there should not be any sensitive political position that should be given to an Igbo man. A secret memo. Oh, well, if there's a secret memo, they should continue to keep it secret. The time has come. See, it just reminds me of how the Israeli became an institution, became a physical sovereignty, how Israel became a physical nation, a physical country today. It started from one man. The Biafran situation came as a result of a conflict. Biafran issue came as a result of an identity. Biafran cause was engineered as a result of necessity. Biafran cause was as a result of injustice. Biafran cause was as a result of uncertainty and endless killing of people from that region. Then a man called Odumegwu Ojukwu tried to persuade Nigeria to look into an agreement that brought the whole world leaders, that brought the whole ethnic lords in Nigeria, excluding the Northerners themselves, because Gowan was going into that meeting without his secretary. The Yorubas came with their secretary, the Igbos came with their secretary, everybody came with their secretary, but the North, go on, refused to take documents of that Aburi agreement to stop the killing of Igbos. Remember, the war was not forced on Nigeria. There was nothing like Biafra until after Aburi, and Gowon came out and said there is going to be 12 states. The 12 states we are talking about, how come was not part of the Aburi agreement? Can Gowon swear today? Can these demons that call themselves leaders swear that Biafra has come into existence before the 12th state was created? Go and find out yourself. Immediately Gowon came and betrayed the way they are still betraying Nigeria. They call themselves, they say they love. Look at the mess up now. They say they love Nigeria, they are betraying Nigeria. They betrayed an agreement. Just few days, they came back from Ghana. They betrayed that agreement. Then Gowon came up with 12 states. And Ojukwu said, this is not the the agreement we had. This was not the agreement. We went to Aburi, we signed, there was an accord. We signed it, you signed. You came back a few days after, you said that there is going to be a division, and you created by fiat, without consulting anybody, you created 12 states. The Colonel Ojukwu, Onmegu Ojukwu, then now said, that was not part of the agreement. And if you are coming not to be part of that agreement, that means I cannot take orders from you, and therefore we are not part of this agreement. And that was how the Biafra was proclaimed on the people of the Igbo nation. It was not Igbo. Biafra, it was not an Igbo name or an Igbo identity, but it has an Igbo heritage. It has an ancestral connection to the Igbo, have ancestral connection to the name Biafra. The name Biafra came from one of the 4 empires of the world. Of course, who happens to come from the Ethiopia, the Ethiopian axiom. Well, of course, that was what gave birth to, if you look at that, if you're able to trace it, you discover that, the Portuguese that actually were the first explorers on the earth. They came across that name, and they gave us the name. Yes, because they felt that we Igbos are the remnants. We behave like the Jews. You say they were the Jews. They behave like they are the Israelites. Yeah, that's what they wrote, and that was how people begin to look at that direction. That these people have the culture and the tradition of the Jewish nation. That was how that name became. And Ojukwu has to give us that name, and that name becomes our identity, while Igbo becomes our language. But away from that, to the real thing on ground, and that has continued to this state, the Igbo has realized that he needs to be independent, because everything about Nigeria is taking us backward. Yes, we are the projectors, we are the progenitors of Igbo independence. The Igbo man championed Nigeria independence in all ramification, in everything. It was Igbo that introduced, one of the powerful tribes in Africa that introduced, freedom, independence of African nations. Go and check the history. It was Igbos that did it. So we are not minors to in the eyes of the British, whatever you call them, and that put the situation on like this, the way it is today. So what Sowore is trying to tell you that this thing has come of age, it has come of time, it has eaten up a time where it has to become a reality. And the people are continuously, buying into it as a result of sentiment, as a result of wickedness, as a result of injustice, as a result of denial. The same people are using the resources that is being generated from the southern part of the country to empower jihadists everywhere. Look at how jihadists are springing up all over the northern part of the country. Everywhere is jihad. All of them are armed. Who are you arming for? What do you want to use those arms for? What do you want to achieve with those arms? What are they talking about? Their plan and their vision is to conquer Nigeria. And that was how the Igbo till today has become a big major nation that the world is waiting to see come to reality. Because the Biafra is going to define a lot of things about Africa. And that is what Sowore is talking about. And we are going back to our roots and to look inwards and come up with something better that will change the understanding of the Black Africa, and of course the Biafrans, and of course to an extent globally. We are not colonizing anybody. We are not fighting anybody. We are not at war with anybody, be in terms of religion, whatever it is. We are not. What we are asking for is, you know, we need an atmosphere to go and have and commune with the man that created heaven and earth. Who is that man? The God of Israel.
South should shut up their mouths. The land there over there is Biafra. And there was never a time Igbo man like Ekpa or Nnamdi is contesting for the oil land. What we are contesting for everybody is freedom. If we go there, we join ourselves together, we run a successful economy. An economy that will favor everybody. If that could bring any bad blood or another fight, I think South, we can leave them. So oil is not the problem. What we are agitating for is let Biafra go their own way in a peaceful way. South themselves are not fighting Biafra now. Yes, Ekpa is not going to find it difficult because South themselves are preparing for the exit of Biafra from Nigeria. It's going to be, let me say, a diplomatic thing because they, South, all of them are Igbos. The only person Ekpa will be telling to prepare is the people that are fighting or contesting their Igbo nationality. I don't know to understand. People like Nyesonwike. There are those big fish. Those big fish, yes, in the South, because you can't fight your brother. Southern man is your brother. They are teamly Igbos. You don't. When Biafra see the way, nobody will tell a Edo man. Because a Edo man will actually join Biafra. Edo man is tired of Nigeria. In River State.
But they say they are Oduduwa.
No, it is not again. If you go through social media, listen to them, it is not anymore. They are not from Oduduwa. They are not. That was old time story. It is not. Many of them, many Bini man, they will even tell you. It is old story. They are not. No link at all. No link. So what I'm trying to say is that all those bankers, all those Awuri, these people, the name Esson, you know, in your area. So those people actually they have traced their origin, their ancestry to Igbo, this area, Egala, all those areas. Those people they are one. So South, even some part of Mid Belt, they will come by themselves. Ekpa is not supposed to be worrying himself because immediately Biafra happens, he's gonna be, you know, see the way. It's gonna be a celebration of things. Nobody that is willing to stay. I'm telling you that even some Ondo people are praying to see the way from Southwest and join Biafra. Because Nigeria is a hellfire. Nigeria is just a hellfire, not like. It can be metaphorical. Yeah. Nigeria cannot be a metaphorical hellfire. Nigeria is totally a hellfire. Hell. We're in a hell. It is only that God is showing us mercy. By the mercy of God, we are surviving here. So forget Ekpa, you know, bruising himself about fighting South. No, Ekpa can't fight his brothers. The Southerners are our brothers. And once Biafra sees away, they are with us. Nobody can contest it. Asari Dokubo cannot contest it. Government Tompolo cannot contest it. These people have been bribed by what? Their Fulani masters. And the Fulani now knows that the game is up. They are coming and importing many jihadists into the north to fight Hausa. And Hausa is being apprehensive. They know it. They are being apprehensive that the Lakrua, Ansaru, Hesme, Lukarawas, they are all Fulani mercenaries. They just want to team up with Fulani and they grab the land Islamize every Christians, everybody in the north. That is the agenda that Osman Dan Fodio was at least, funding for many years now. Osman Dan Fodio, their founding father, was the one that brought all these ideologies of Islamization of things in the north. And it seemed that nnamdikanu has been at least watched the Hausas into believing in their weak point in the past, that the Hausas were made slaves by the Fulanis. And that's why Fulani has actually seen that Hausas that have begun to understand where they come from, started importing all manner of jihadists from Middle East, from Libya, from Niger, from Mali, and so on and so forth. All those Sahel countries. So it is a war, and it is war for the north, because jihadists that come to south, they are wasting their time. They will all go in what? Body sacks. Yes, they will all be disallowed. None of them will remain. Even one will not escape. So it is hunger and other things that they will use to fight the Hausas when they have actually at least blocked them from farming, having access to their farmlands. And if you look at what is going on in the north today, it is hunger everywhere. There is food drought, much food scarcity. And these are the weapons the Fulani jihadists are using to fight their Hausa counterparts.
But we've seen some of these Niger Delta people. They've come and said that why Samuel Ekpa is trying to cajole them to come to Biafra is because of their oil. The oil, they know they have enough reserve of oil, there in the Niger Delta. That's why Ekpa is wanting to and take over the south as well as the southeast.
South should shut up their mouths. The land there over there is Biafra, and there was never a time Igbo man like Ekpa or Nand is contesting for the oil land. What we are contesting for everybody is freedom. If we go there, we join ourselves together, we run a successful economy, an economy that will favor everybody. If that could bring any bad blood or another fight, I think South, we can leave them. We have 5 states. We have some Igbo deltas that can join us if they like. I don't know what I understand. Since the quest for Biafra emancipation, I don't see oil being an issue. I don't see oil bringing bone of contention between the Jaws, Calabaris, and Igbos. If it matters most, we stay. But all I know is that burning island you are seeing is owned by King Jaja of Opobo. King Jaja of Opobo is an Igbo man. He's from Arochukwu. Okay, let us forget about this internal conflict. When Biafra goes, we know how we settle it. Ekpa is not wrestling anybody because of oil. Ekpa is fighting hard to make sure that Biafra sees away from the Republic of Zoo, Nigeria.
Okay. But do you think that if people like Asari Dokubo, even Paradun Clark, we've seen him come out and distance himself from the Biafra agitation cause, do you think that if they come together and work with people like Ekpa, do you think that the freedom that they've always wanted will finally come to fruition?
Yeah, it's gonna come to be. It will be so easy. Why? The war we fight, war of Biafra Nigerian civil war. They follow. Okay. They do Clark them, they follow. The Urobo, the Warri people, they follow. That land it belonged to Biafra. That was where Nigeria, because we are all East Central states. We are the southeastern Nigeria. It was Fulani politics that devised us. They put gap between us and the Jaws, the Warri, the Calabaris. They called us southeast. They called these people north. North is just a geographical division. There's nothing like south, north, blah blah. North are north. South are south, west, southeastern Nigeria. Finish. Who are the southeastern Nigeria? From the mid belt, Benue State, Kogi State down to Atlantic Ocean, axis of Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, they are all southeast. The Niger Delta, you see, we are the same with them. I don't understand. The former Benue State, there are Igbos, largely Igbos, that is translated today to Delta and Edo State. They are largely Igbos. So it can bring problem. It can never bring problem. When Biafra see the way, Ohanezes, they will come together and know how to do it. At least Ohanese, Deltans are included. Benue people are included. All these Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, they are included. There was enough consultation made by Ojukwu before the war started. He met with all of them, the Efik, the Bibio, they are among the Ohaneses. So I don't know why somebody is troubled over oil. Am I troubled over oil as an Igbo man? Come to Imo State and see oil. Am I going to start fighting a German, South Deltans over natural gas? Come to Anambra State. We have the largest natural gas deposit in Africa. It's in Anambra State. So oil is not the problem. What we are agitating for is let Biafra go their own way in a peaceful way.
Some people in the east, number one, Hope Uzodinma, two. Peter Mba, Enugu State Governor, two. This set of people are the people who joined to the ICC supporters, Al-Qaeda supporters. Are you seeing it? It's because Hope Uzodinma never think good of his people. If he does, he wouldn't have ever been in support of Al-Qaeda, in support of ICC, in support of Boko Haram and Hamas and the rest.
I've got that military to fight the alleged or the incoming by the prophet, the incoming strong terrorists coming soon.
But by the grace of God, glory be to Jesus Christ. Because I will not stop praising God, giving the adoration that is due to him, because he's the owner and the maker of every living things, both the living and non-living. He is under his control. Now listen and listen good. Nigerian military doesn't have what it takes. They are not well equipped, neither are they well trained to face what is about to face them. Listen and listen good, because they have been failing and they have been failing and they will continue to fail. Imagine a place, a state whereby the Qaeda ICC coupled with the Boko Haram and what is the name of this recent one? Hezbollah, and there's another one, and there's this one coming from Hamas side and Iran coupled together. Look at them. And you say Nigerian military to go and combat with them, with the empty hand, with their blood, with the which train? Who trained them? They are not well trained. They don't have the combat equipment, material stores than those people. Those ones are well equipped. And see, they say there is a saying that Imo State. But why is it that every time all these terrorist people, they will be pointing Imo State? It's like this man, Hope Uzodinma, is a terrorist. Hope Uzodinma have joined the Al-Qaeda group. Like Obama too, the chief organizer of Al-Qaeda. So they are now forming the formidable force to come and destabilize Imo State, and which I believe, if Uzodinma is not careful, hey, making nothing saying no escape by joining them. His family did not escape. Because when they start to disturb, terrorists no send you whether you get family or not. Then go burn you, their brother, especially you will be Hope Uzodinma. Then there's another state that we attack. They said, according to their own map, Abuja is inclusive, Plateau is inclusive, Niger State is inclusive. I think Lagos State too. Imo State, Plateau,
Benue,
Maiduguri,
Abuja,
Kano, and Lagos State. Now listen, it's good that this thing is coming. It's good that this thing is coming, so that every state and every quarter recruits. As for my side, the Biafra will recruit, and we will continue to recruit and to rebuild. Listen and listen good. We don't want Fulani, we don't want Fulani. We don't want terrorists, we don't want terrorists. The way they took over Niger State, they conquer Nigerian military. They will not conquer Biafra in Biafra land. Hope Uzodinma, every strategy you like to use, you cannot overcome us in our land. It is our father's land, and that land has been in existence before you were born, even before your father.
But do you not think Uzodinma is doing well to curb this insecurity?
Hope Uzodinma is not doing well. If he's doing well, he shouldn't have alliance with the terrorists. He shouldn't have a partnering with Al-Qaeda, with ICC, with Boko Haram, with Hamas. Do you know that in Kuwait today, all the Hamas people has been deported from Kuwait? Do you know, as I'm talking to you, that Egypt resisted Hamas from entering into their country? Do you know today, as I'm talking to you, country like Saudi Arabia